The first thing I noticed about the reception hall was how carefully everything had been, arranged to look effortless. Soft lights hung across the ceiling like strands of quiet stars. The tables were dressed in pale linen, glassware catching reflections from the chandeliers. People stood in clusters, laughing, adjusting jackets, taking pictures that would eventually become someone else's memories. I sat at the edge of the room, halfway between the dance floor and the exit doors. It felt like the safest place. My brother moved through the crowd the way he always had, confident, loud enough to pull attention wherever he stood. People gravitated toward him naturally. My parents followed that orbit too, greeting relatives, accepting congratulations, performing the part of proud hosts. No one paid much attention to me, which was fine. That had always been the arrangement. Eventually, the lights dimmed a little, and the DJ announced a slideshow prepared by the groom. Guests leaned back in their chairs, expecting childhood photos, embarrassing teenage haircuts, the usual harmless nostalgia. The first images delivered exactly that. My brother as a kid holding a soccer trophy, family vacations at beaches I barely remembered, graduation photos. Laughter moved through the room easily. I watched the screen but didn't feel part of it. I rarely appeared in those photos anyway. Then the slide changed. Instead of an image, there were words. Black background, white letters, large enough that every table could read them. Infertile, divorced failure, high school dropout, low income, single. For a moment, no one reacted. It took a few seconds for the room to understand that the words were about someone in the room, about me. A couple people laughed first, the way guests do when they assume a joke has been carefully planned. The laughter spread quickly once others joined. My brother stepped up near the microphone beside the DJ booth. He was smiling the way someone does when they're waiting for a punchline to land. "Don't laugh too much," he said lightly, glancing in my direction. "He might cry." More laughter. My mother sat at the head table, swirling wine slowly in her glass, like she was watching a piece of entertainment she hadn't quite decided on yet. My father leaned toward someone beside him and chuckled. "Just a joke," he said. Even my former wife, who had stayed friendly enough to attend, covered her mouth, while laughing politely with the rest. It wasn't loud cruelty. It was softer than that, casual, the kind that assumes you won't push back. For a few seconds, I felt the old instinct rising, the one that said, "Stay quiet. Wait it out, let the moment pass." Then something inside me went very still. The strange thing about public humiliation is that it can remove the last layer of hesitation. When everything is already exposed, there's nothing left to protect. I reached into my jacket and took out my phone. I typed one word: begin. I pressed send. Nothing happened immediately. The screen still displayed the same words. A few people kept laughing, though it had started to thin out as the joke stretched longer than expected. My brother glanced at me from across the room. I think he was waiting for some kind of reaction. Anger, embarrassment, something that would make the moment feel complete. Instead, I just sat there. Then the projector flickered. The slide disappeared. The DJ frowned and tapped the side of the laptop. 1 second. Murmurs passed through the crowd. The screen returned, but not to the slideshow. A video window opened. The first image was my brother sitting at a cafe table weeks earlier, speaking to someone across from him who wasn't visible in the frame. "I'm telling you," he said in the recording, laughing quietly. "It'll be hilarious. Everyone knows he's sensitive about that stuff." The room went silent. Another clip followed. A family group video call from months ago. My mother's voice came through clearly. "Just make sure it doesn't look too cruel," she said. "People need to think it's playful." My father nodded beside her. "He needs motivation anyway." No shouting. No dramatic cruelty. Just calm agreement. Around the room, people shifted in their seats. Glasses stopped moving. Chairs creaked against the floor. My brother stepped toward the DJ booth. "What is this?" he muttered. But the DJ was already looking toward the event coordinator standing near the wall. She walked forward calmly, holding a tablet. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said into the microphone. Voice steady. "The projection system has been temporarily reassigned for a scheduled presentation, authorized earlier by one of the event sponsors." The word sponsor hung in the air. Another video appeared. This one was different, not a conversation. Just a quiet explanation from the coordinator herself. recorded earlier that afternoon. She spoke clearly. The venue reservation and primary reception expenses were funded by a private client who requested that tonight's program include a brief media segment. A few guests looked toward the head table. My brother stared at the screen like he had misheard something. I didn't look at him. I was watching the floor. The coordinator continued. Out of respect for the couple, the presentation will conclude now. The screen went black. For several seconds, no one spoke. The DJ tried to restart the music, but fumbled with the controls. My brother grabbed a microphone that wasn't even turned on yet. Okay, that's enough. Nothing came out. The coordinator gently took the microphone from him. Let's allow the evening to continue, she said calmly. I stood up from my chair. No one stopped me. No one said anything. I walked past the tables slowly, hearing only the quiet rustle of clothing and the low hum of confusion settling over the room. The lights were still warm, the decorations still beautiful, the wedding reception still technically intact, but the laughter had disappeared. Outside, the night air felt colder than I expected. I took a slow breath and started walking toward the parking lot. There wasn't a sense of victory waiting there, just something quieter. For the first time in years, I understood something clearly. Some relationships don't end with arguments. They end when the room finally sees what you've been living with all along. Behind me, inside the hall, the music eventually started again. The wedding went on, but I didn't stay to watch it.